A game. Don't come there. I'm coming to do hijrah to be a better Muslim, and I'm a miskin. I'm gonna be a this, and I don't mind anything I do, just in a Muslim country. You not miss me with all of that talk. Right.
Yeah.
Come with your best foot forward. Go on.
What do you miss about the UK? The cons for...
I'm not the type to latch on to someone just because you're from the UK. This is something that's very common.
Yeah,
you're from the UK, Okay, let's just be friends.
Yeah,
but I won't be your friend in London.
Like I went to China and just met all the Somalis.
There you go.
I forgot he was in China.
And they blessed me in China. I went to China. The Somalis blessed.
Come on, bro.
Say, there is a lack of brotherhood. There is a lack of community.
That's what I was going to ask.
And the pros outweigh the cons because number one, it's the safest place you'll go to. You know, a woman could walk around at 3 o'clock in the morning. Not one person will do anything to her.
Qatar. You raise your child in Qatar. You go to some parts in the UK. You go to some parts in Europe. You go to Africa, Asia. That child is going to get the biggest shock of their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of AAA Talks with your usual host, Muaz.
Safe.
And Yahya.
And today we have a guest.
A very special guest.
A very special guest.
Come on, bro.
We got brother Yousef over here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Who's come all the way from Qatar to see us.
Yes.
I had to go out all the way to Doha, to West Walk,
Right.
and get a cortado with this guy to finally get him to come.
Secure the bag.
To secure it. Anyway, so look, there's a lot of talk on this whole idea of leaving the country, and people call it Hijrah, right?
Right.
Is that an overused term? This, and for the record, I should have probably said it. Yousef has been in Qatar for how many years?
14 years. I moved in 2011.
14 years. Yeah. So he left London, left the UK. He left
one of the early ones that left the UK.
Right.
One of the early ones. And now a lot of people have followed to other countries like Emirat, Saudi, Oman, Egypt, even some have gone to Morocco.
At the time, a lot of people were going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So at that period of time specifically, there was a lot of brothers.
It was the Saudi hype.
It was the CELTA hype. A lot of people were getting the degree, getting the CELTA course, go work in Saudi.
It was the Hijrah hype.
Yeah.
They weren't doing Hijrah though. They were just going there for work.
They were calling it Hijrah, bro.
Yeah.
They weren't calling it Hijrah.
They were calling it 2K a month tax free. That's what they were
that's what they were calling it. Yeah.
That's what they were calling it back then.
But when you went there, did you go for work or were you actually going to migrate? Because some brothers, I know a few brothers who left the country and they went to Oman to migrate.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't say it was to migrate. I mean, I just turned 23.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave London.
Yeah.
So I felt like I outgrew London. I didn't want to be in London so much. There was a global financial crisis. I studied economics. I didn't want to do investment banking. I'd done some business stuff before. I'm quite ambitious, entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And an opportunity came that was very interesting, whereby it wasn't the typical, because actually, subhanAllah, I got the offer while I was doing the CELTA course.
Mashallah.
But I convinced 3 of my friends to do the course with me at the same time. We all went to do the CELTA course and no one knew what they wanted to do. And I'm trying to convince them, yo, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to go Saudi. We're going to work. We're going to make money. Halfway through, I get an offer from Qatar to say, yeah, we wanted to go and create a youth foundation, a leadership foundation type thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go here. And actually, I had
But you didn't apply for that specifically?
SubhanAllah, no. Actually, I didn't apply for it. Based on my previous business that I had here in the UK, people had heard of what I was doing. I was doing these trips. I was bringing people from the Middle East to London in the summers.
But
so
when you said you done your CELTA course, did you apply for teaching posts as
I didn't actually want to be a teacher at any point. Yeah,
because most of the people that I know that have gone to Saudi or Qatar, those 2 places, they're always teachers.
Right.
Even one of my cousins, they went for 4 or 5 years and they were there for 5 years, teacher. Someone I know there that's been there for 20 years.
Right.
You might even know he's quite popular on YouTube. Qatari Music Vibes. Have you heard of a Bengali guy? Anyway, he
What's
got
his name?
Aslamullah. No, he got 10 million views on something. He got quite popular. Sorry, bro. Anyway, so
can we just come back?
Yeah.
I know
we went off the road a bit.
I know I went off a little bit, but what I'm trying to say is the point I was getting to. Everyone was being teachers there, so I find it fascinating that you got offered a job on something completely different.
Yeah, subhanAllah. So it was actually within education, but
Yeah.
it wasn't at all to be a teacher. I previously had a company that was called Campus Camps. We did trips. We brought people from the Khalij, from the Middle East to London to do these activities. The people in Qatar heard about what I was doing. And at that time, the Arab Spring happened. So there wasn't so much business.
Yeah.
Most of my clients were from Egypt. So I
MashaAllah.
lost, business completely went down the drain. I lost everything
Yeah.
after just being open for not even a year, subhanAllah. And then they said, I heard about what you were doing. Why don't you come here? And previously, I had gone Umrah and I said, let me try Qatar. Let me just see what it's about. They just won the World Cup bid. In my heart, I said, I know Qatar is a good place to go.
Yes,
I know
yes, yes.
nothing, zero about it. I go there, I stay at one of my dad's friends' houses. I'm knocking on doors of youth clubs and youth centers and not knowing the culture of the people, how they operate. I'm 22 and I'm there going to them, yo, listen, I can do this with the youth. We can do that. I'll take you guys around the world.
mashallah.
And these guys are looking at me thinking, Zain, excellent. But who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? And when you understand the culture,
Yeah.
it's such a culture that is
It's
related
all about
on
who you are.
who you are. It's not even that. It's
Who you
trust.
connected with.
It's trust. It's trust. It's purely
yeah,
just
yeah,
a matter of
of
trust.
course.
If they trust you and you're a credible person, then they will give you the opportunity.
You hadn't had anything set up
Zero.
there and
Zero.
previous experience.
But
so-
subhanAllah, off the back of that, and this is why you tie your camel. This is why you put in effort. I had no idea what was coming. I got nose. I was so upset back then. Everything would get to me. I would be very down. And I'd be like, man, I just came all the way here and spent this money and did this and did that. Months down the line, I get a phone call waking me up in the morning saying, I heard about what you're doing. I heard you were in Qatar. Had a conversation with a guy, heard nothing of him again until the Celta course. I just
Yeah.
get an offer. It's
mashallah.
starting 2 weeks.
So,
SubhanAllah.
Go on.
so okay then. So you go there. How do you settle in?
It was really hard. You know, Qatar back then was, you're talking
Get the mic a
2011.
bit closer. Yeah.
You're
Sorry.
talking 2011.
Yeah.
You're talking no taxis. Like there's only the national tax.
basically.
Nothing. You're in the desert.
Yeah.
There's a few buildings and towers and this and that. They just won the bid. But when I tell you infrastructure, zero. I didn't know how to drive. That's
Compared
a
to,
big issue.
because I just came back from there recently.
Yeah, no,
It's
Qatar's different.
It's different now.
2011, completely different.
No. I saw the full transformation.
Yeah.
From a place where, wallahi, I arrived, it was in Ramadan, it was in August. It's so hot. I don't know a single human being. I would stand outside waiting for a taxi, and 9 times out of 10, just a nice guy would stop and say to me, where you going? I'll be like, anywhere where there's a shop. Like,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
got
know where I am.
hitchhiking.
And he's like, yeah, cool, I'll take you. So it was just,
yeah.
that's what I liked
Mashallah.
about it though, the warmth of the people.
Yeah.
And coming in and immediately dealing with Qatari people, with the youth, because I'm going there to do youth development and that type of stuff. So you're learning a lot more about the culture. You're learning more about the hospitality. You go into someone's house, they're 13 years old. They might have 20 cars outside and a palace and a mansion, all this stuff, or they might not have any of that stuff. You're all raised in the same way, which is they're going to come, they're going to serve you coffee, or they're going to serve you coffee first, then they're going to serve you tea, then they're going to give you dates, then you're going to have a conversation. You can walk into any majlis in that country, and if you don't know a single person, you're at least going to get served tea, coffee, dates, water. Salaam alaikum, alaikum
Bro, what's the
salam.
process of actually like you've left a place where you actually know people? You
Right.
could have established your business
Yeah,
in a more easier way
right.
and then go to a desert
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
no one at all
Yeah.
and then
That's a
establish
mad
yourself. Like,
move, yeah,
they're like,
subhanallah.
what's the process like?
Yeah, at 23. as
And
well.
at 23,
yeah,
yeah.
I was really young, but you know
Like,
what it
did
is?
you teach? Like, did you start as a teacher or did you go
No, no,
straight
no.
into business and say,
Well, I was hired.
is-
I was hired. I never went straight into business. I was hired to develop and create. It's called Tarbiyah Foundation.
Okay,
It still exists.
yeah.
Right. But I was never a teacher. But I was put in a school and told, understand the mentality of the people. If you understand the mentality of Qatari kids, you're going to be able to create programs for them and so on. Why did I go? I'll be honest with you. I've always been a big risk taker all my life. Always been very ambitious. And I just thought to myself, well, I've done London. It ain't going anywhere.
So let
is
me
a
understand
mentality.
about London, because one of the first things you said is you outgrew London.
Yeah.
What was the things that was holding you back? A lot of people that make Hijrah from London is basically, they'll say, oh, for my deen, I'm not able to practice it for the children because, a lot of nonsense. They're getting influenced by the LGBT crowd, Q plus Y, all of that stuff. So, what was the main reasons that you wanted to leave London?
I never wanted to have a job. right?
Well, in London, you didn't want to drop.
I just did. I worked places. I did a few
You
things.
didn't want a typical career.
I didn't want a typical career. I already had established a business, already had been profitable, already had made sense, already gone bankrupt, already lost everything that I had. So it was kind of like, okay, I need to go for the next. I need to go for the next thing. So am I gonna go and work in a bank, or am I gonna go and do this? Although I did economics, I never wanted to do that. I didn't really want to be involved in that. I remember people that wanted to do investment banking. It's, you know what it is? It's the riba, but also it was like, it's that tie wrapped around your neck all day long that's suffocating you and strangling you. And the fact that I would say to them, okay, in 5 years or in 10 years, how much are you going to earn, right? You're going to go down the city route. I live right next to the city. I could have walked to work every day, right? But how much are you going to earn? 100K, 150K, 200K, whatever it may be. After tax, how much is that going to be? I just had the belief in myself to say, after 10 years, I think I could do that on my own terms. You know, that was kind of the idea of it. And going there was more so, I want to try something new. And this country's about to host the World Cup in 2022. So you got to have that in your mind thinking, I don't know what it is now, but I know for a fact you have the investment authority and they were just bought out Harrods, they just a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like, this is the place to go if you want to see opportunity. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the route is going to be. But I understand that Qatar is the place. Alhamdulillah, for me, out of all the Khaliji countries, obviously I'm going to be biased, but for me, it's the most balanced. You know, it's a very much a Islamic country.
Have you been to the other ones? Saudi,
I've been to all
Dubai,
the countries, all the other countries. I just find that
UAE.
with the people, Islam is in their heart. This is something that I really like. Every corner you turn, there's a masjid. There is no excuse for you not to be praying. However, I would say, I don't know what format we're doing. I don't know if you're going to ask me questions, but I would just give you a point to say there is a lack of brotherhood. There is a lack of community.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, big time. And you asked a good question of how do you move? Like, obviously, in London, I know a lot of people, right? We're from here. We know a lot of people. We grew up. We're in all the different areas around London. You know, literally hundreds and hundreds of people that you would call brothers. You go there, you don't know anyone. And I'm not the type to latch on to someone just because you're from the UK. This is something that's very common. You're from the UK, okay, let's just be friends. But I won't be your friend in London. Like, you're not going to be my boy in London. Why are you my boy in Qatar? Just because we're from...
But that's what we have as Somalis. When we see a lot of Somali in a different area, so that guy's my boy.
Yeah, that's it.
Like I went to China and just met all the Somalis.
There you go.
I forgot he was in China.
And they blessed me in China. I went to China. The Somalis blessed me.
Come on,
they hooked me up over there.
But can I just say, so you're saying that you left, like here, there was more of a, would you say there is more of an Islamic community in the UK?
Yeah. Back then.
But the irony is that people leave the UK
for an Islamic
community and then sugarcoat it as Hijrah.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you say this whole Hijrah thing? Would you say this whole Hijrah thing has just become a bit of a facade now?
Look,
more of an escape.
I think people need to be a bit more.
It's more of an escape.
No, but people are going to improve their deen. But from many people I know that have gone, they're like,
they come back the same.
One of our friends is gone, and he's like, yeah, I now know long term I'm coming back to the UK.
Yeah, look, community-wise, here we hold on to everything a lot more.
Because you can't even do talks in the masjids there, can they? They're in Dubai or Qatar, they don't allow you to do.
You can't even attend the halaqah.
Look, we were doing the halaqah, okay? We were doing a halaqah every Friday.
Yeah.
Me and my friends, shout out to them definitely. We were doing it every Friday in a different masjid for 2 years.
What, did they allow
a different masjid? No, we just would pray.
Okay.
And as soon as we're finished with the salah, it's like we quickly just read some Quran, or everyone would prepare what they had to prepare. Some places were cool with it. Some places would be like, we're closing. It wasn't, this isn't allowed. But I understand that they've become a little bit more strict. Now, for example, we do at
but
brothers'
it's legislated by law. It's not allowed, apparently. Is that the case?
Yeah. I think
so. If you're doing it, it's in
me.
secrecy within houses and
But
stuff.
They're more strict. They're more strict when it comes to masajid, and they're very careful on what's being spoken about.
Basically, it's the community is not being promoted.
You know what it is? I tell you,
village style that we have here.
I'll tell you why. Here, our community isn't based on where we're from, right? Okay. It's not based on the country we're from. It's based on we're friends. We met each other here, there, everywhere. It doesn't matter where you're from. We're all one. We'll play football together. We'll eat together. We'll go to the masjid together. We do everything together. Going there, it was a big shock because I was like, well, I'm Egyptian. I'm not really Egyptian. So I would go there, and all the Egyptians have a community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The Somalis have a community.
Yeah.
Pakistanis have a community. Palestinians have a community. Everyone has a community. But we're like nomads. Yeah, you're British, but you're Muslim British.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you can't fit into that.
Yeah,
community.
they've got a hierarchy there, haven't they? With the expats being on one level, then you've got certain migrants with different levels.
I mean,
They have that in
yes,
Dubai. They
yes,
have that in Saudi.
yes
so
and no.
I would say.
Yes, I would say so. But I immediately, alhamdulillah, from day one, again, being exposed to the Qatari people from day one, I realized that was all rubbish. You put yourself in that hierarchy. If you want someone to put their foot on your head, you're going to allow it to happen. But if you're going to respect yourself, demand respect and give respect, it doesn't matter who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the driver, same as you're dealing with the sheikh. And alhamdulillah, I've dealt with every single level from day one. And when I went into the corporate world later on and started working corporate, because I left this whole thing immediately when I arrived, maybe a year later, and I went into corporate, and you would see British people, you would see French people, American people, you know, a lot of it was that hierarchy. Is I know the big boss, sheikh, and then I'm the person in charge because I have this title and this MBA. Then I'm going to delegate to you guys, and you guys are going to delegate to the people underneath you. And it's really that kind of hierarchy. It was like that back in the day. When I went there, I was like, well, it doesn't work like that because I know what the sheikh is like. I just ate with him. We were on the floor, eating with our hands, talking normal talk. Don't over there. The sad thing is, you put yourself in a box because you see everyone being put in a box.
Yeah.
So when you get put in that box, you're going to stay there. And people are very fearful
So there
because it's
isn't-
unstable. You think you're going to lose your job because everything is based on a contract. Unfortunately, people go there with fear. You know, you go
Because
there.
it's a bit of a dog eat dog world.
Honestly, it's a matter of this is the end of your contract. Are you going to be able to brown nose and make sure that contract gets extended? Are you going to be able to play politics? Are you going to be able to do whatever needs to be done and be, unfortunately, mediocre? Unfortunately, there is a lot of mediocrity over there just in the performance of the people and how they work. It's not the best in class in every position is working there. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So I would recommend, brothers, you want to go out there and work, you want to go Saudi, you want to go Emirat, you want to go to Qatar, ahlan wa sahlan. Come with your best foot forward. Come with your A
Prepare,
game.
basically.
Because if you come with your A game, don't come there, I'm coming to do Hijrah to be a better Muslim, and I'm a miskin, I'm going to be a this, and I don't mind anything I do, just in a Muslim country.
Yeah.
You know, miss me with all of that talk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Come with your best foot forward. Come and work hard. Come as a senior person. Come as somebody that's going to be impactful and be able to bring that whole
Team,
crowd in,
yeah.
create a team. Because now we've got a lot of people there. We don't have that community over there, right? We need more people in the country for the community. I'll be honest with you. None of my boys are from London, are from the UK. And that's a great thing as well. You go there and you get exposed to so many people from so many places. I can go into a different majlis every day, alhamdulillah, where people will see me as their brother and I see them as my brothers, and we will go, and they aren't even the boys I go out with. You
There's
have
a
to
local mosque or just any masjid you can go to.
No, I'm saying majlis.
Majlis,
Majlis.
okay.
Yeah. Majlis is the place where,
It's like a chill zone.
yeah,
chill out
people
place.
sit down.
Yeah.
It's there. Literally, majlis means to sit down.
literally
There's a
So
bunch of guys getting together, just
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
you sit
But
down,
it's in a place that
chill.
it looks like a palace, though. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some that look like palaces and you got some that are quite modest, but nonetheless, they're all really nice.
Okay, so I just want to ask now, in terms of going out with the family, what are the pros and cons? We're talking about cost of living.
Okay.
We know cost of living in the UK is skyrocketing. You know, salaries might not be that high. Someone wants to take his family out, pull them out of education, pull them out of school. The way Saif mentioned, especially with the rise of the LGBTQ movement and blah 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 blah. You go to Qatar, is it all just you know, sunrise and sunshine and just is the grass really greener on the other side?
There's pros and cons and everything.
Yeah.
I would say the pros outweigh the cons because number one, it's the safest place you'll go to. You know,
Yeah.
a woman could walk around at 3 o'clock in the morning. Not one person will do anything to her.
It was
Right?
funny. When I went to see him, I had my backpack and I left it in his car, and we were going to eat. And I was like, "Let me get my backpack. It's got like my passport and like."
And the car was unlocked
and-
because the guy was
and-
cleaning it.
And yeah, the car was unlocked. The guy was cleaning it, and I was like, "No, let me get my backpack." He was like, and I had money in there and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Bro, we're in Qatar."
Yeah.
And that's it. That just explains it.
Yeah,
You're not
Just
going to
sums it
get
up.
that. Won't happen.
Yeah.
That won't happen. Wallahi, I leave my car running at the petrol station with money, whatever, this, that, whatever, phone.
Yes,
No one's
yes.
Does
even
that
gonna look
come
inside
down
your phone.
to the kind of like the people that the good of their heart, or does that come down to fear?
I'd say both.
Yeah,
100%
because
both.
if these
Because
guys, if
they don't
that
play.
cleaner gets clocked,
Yeah, yeah,
if
they
he
don't
gets
play.
caught,
Oh,
Your
khalas,
he's
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 going
gone.
right
He's
back,
gone.
right back to Delhi.
Yeah.
I
Right,
remember I was
wherever
in
he is
Qatar,
from.
bro. I had this hotel worker crying literally on my lap, literally saying,
On your lap.
No, no, man.
One second.
You know what I mean? No, she was crying and,
Big
and
lap
she-
still.
no, she was because she couldn't get her passport.
Yeah, they'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
They-
That
they
could
take it
happen.
off you.
I don't. Maybe in the past things like that will happen.
I'm
I don't
not
know if
sure
they.
now,
I don't
yeah.
think they're allowed to take your passport anymore. But back in the day, there was a lot of things.
No,
But
they used to do it back in the days. I think they
Yeah.
still do to certain migrants.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I
back
can't
to the
say.
pros and cons.
Yeah. So the pros and cons: safe. Okay,
Okay.
extremely safe. Muslim country, as really a Muslim country, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna go, you're gonna hear the adhan everywhere you go. It's not a uniform adhan that's played by someone presses play. There's an imam
Like
in every
Egypt.
masjid.
It's
You know?
Egypt,
Did you
yeah.
do that?
Egypt, yeah.
Yeah.
Egypt right now is literally
So the authenticity is still there,
Yeah.
right? Food, million
Amazing.
times better
Yeah, I accept
and
that.
way cheaper.
I accept.
And way cheaper.
Sorry, bro. I went there recently. The food is good.
Way
It's amazing.
cheaper and way better. You're gonna put on a lot of weight. When I went there in 3 months, I put on about 20 kilos.
Yeah,
it was a
sure,
problem.
yeah.
It's a problem because the portions are big. So in terms of taking family out,
Yeah. Okay. Education.
okay, is it better than a state school here? It depends on what school you're gonna go to over there. There are many schools.
Are there
There-
state schools there, or are you paying?
There are government
No, you have
schools
to
there.
pay.
I don't think you're able to get into the government schools there. You would have to pay. Your employer usually will pay for your children's education to go there, or you pay a little bit on top to take them there. The schools are okay. I have to be very honest. I work in education. The schools are okay. You cannot compare them to a private school in England,
Okay, obviously.
education-wise. But it shouldn't be obvious.
But what about
It should be
private
the same.
school compared to state school in England?
No, the private school there is better than the state school.
Oh, is
here.
it?
Yeah, it would be better because the class sizes are smaller. You're gonna have. It's gonna be very multicultural, different demographics of people.
there's
You
still
gotta
got teachers from
consider-
the UK as well.
Yeah, again, but
Yeah.
again, I don't want to put people on blast or whatever, but
Yeah.
being in education, I think the level of teachers, teacher training, the levels should be better. For the amounts that are being paid, they should be better. Like people are going there, again, it's a tax-free job. I'm going to go there. I'm going to get a salary. I'm going to take my family. I'm going to go. Whatever I'm going to get there, let's say as a teacher, is much better than what I'm going to get here. My kids are going to go to school for free. I'm going to get accommodation. I'm going to get flights home every year. I'm going to get a good salary. So it's a lot of
perks. Yeah.
a lot of perks. And that's why they'll stay there. Especially teachers, very rarely would they move back because it's very
Yeah.
the standard of living is night and day. Okay.
But one of the things I
But the
remember-
issue is the quality, I would say. I would say the quality can and should be better. Inshallah will be better and we will make it better. Inshallah. That's my aim.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But what about job security? Because here in the UK, you lose your job, you just apply for another one.
Job security is
You
not
know,
great.
you jump onto universal credit or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
then you are secured in that sense. Over
Yeah.
there,
No,
What, you
no,
just
no,
fly
no,
back
no,
home?
no. See, this is the thing. I lost my job once because the company got closed down. I lost my job once because COVID happened and they said we don't need business development anymore. Corporate, tight. It's a tight situation. You can't have that 3 months of you looking for a job is 3 months of salary, 3 months of school fees, 3 months of food,
Or
3
visa
months
as
of this,
well.
3 months. Your ID might be, they won't cancel you immediately unless they're being difficult. But
Yeah.
you know, it's not about that. It's that buffer period. You don't get that.
Yeah,
The rent
yeah.
is a killer. Everything is gonna cost you money. So
School education costs about 12k per child, I think.
roughly,
Yeah,
roughly, if not more,
£12,000.
£12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not more,
Adds
but
up
yeah,
if
in
you've
and
got
around
4
that much.
kids, that's
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So
That'd be worth it.
48K.
So, but education, I would say probably there is better job security, just given the fact that there's always a lack of supply. And if you have the credentials and are qualified, you're always going to find a job. But unfortunately, I would say the downside to that is you don't have to be the best to live there for 20 years and work and get a good job, you know? And
But would you say that okay, so what about raising your child? I don't know where I heard this online or something, but someone was making a great point that, if the whole world was like Qatar, then that's great. Raise your child in Qatar. As in, if the rest of the world was
Right.
was as safe and and everything's just taken care of the way it is like in Qatar. It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. But the world isn't like Qatar. You raise your child in Qatar. You go to some parts in the UK. You go to some parts in Europe. You go to Africa, Asia. That child is going to get the biggest shock of their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they grew up in they were bubble wrapped all their life growing up.
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah.
you're getting.
You know what it is? And they're used to seeing nice things.
Yeah.
And again, because things aren't so expensive, going to a nice mall is actually boring because you've done it so many
That's
times.
the thing.
So
Yeah.
it starts getting boring. Because it's small, you've
So
gone
it's
to
become normal.
every attraction. You've
Yeah.
gone to every
Yeah.
activity. Whereas the Angry Birds theme park might be a once in a year thing. It's like, oh, you're bored, let's go there, which is not good, right?
Yeah.
So I would say over there, is it better to raise your child there? I think you have to be a lot more of a diligent parent. If you have the same diligence you have here with your child there, you raise the child very well because those comfortable surroundings make it easier.
Bro,
but
it's
what
too
people do,
comfortable.
what people do is they just allow it to just take its
Exactly.
course.
They give in.
They'll give in. I got a maid, I got a cleaner.
Bro, you go
I'm
to a
this.
shopping center,
Mm.
you could leave your child behind
Yeah.
in a little classroom somewhere where they're doing arts and crafts.
All day.
2 hours.
And
yeah.
some Filipino woman's
Yeah.
taking care of them, and it's just like, what am I? Can I not watch? And they're like, no, it's okay.
Yeah,
leave them now.
you've got
It's
'em.
so cheap in
I've
those
got them now.
countries
And
to
it's-
get
and-
a maid.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, comparatively,
Well, I don't know. Apparently,
hiring a
Filipino maids are
cleaner
a bit-
in this
are a bit
country is like
uh,
£20 an hour now, right?
No. They're,
No,
they you
no.
can, they can
So
get something
you get a maid
for-
there for £300 a month. I heard. £400.
if you sponsor them, yeah.
Well, we had
But
it
you have to
like
take
that in
care of
Egypt as
them.
well.
Yeah, Egypt is probably even cheaper.
Yeah, 200. Yeah, you get someone to cook, clean, do
You know,
everything.
but that's the thing then. Everyone starts becoming more soft. So again, you're going there for Hijrah, but you get blinded by the bright lights. You see the comfortability. You become, I'll be honest with you.
Do you compromise on your deen?
Yes. And unfortunately, I'm not proud to say, but I would say that I was a much stronger Muslim when I lived here. And when you go there, you
100% true. Yeah, I
you
agree.
slowly get used to the easy life, slowly deteriorate. I'm not saying you're going to miss your salah, but you got a masjid in every corner. You're not praying masjid salah. in
But
every
life
masjid.
is much
Yeah.
more comfortable over there than
Exactly.
it's here.
That-
It is
so
over
that-
here.
And even the whole hierarchy.
And you've got
thing,
less
say
fitna
UK.
over there.
right. So
Then you've got it over
so
here.
you ain't got anything to work
True.
for. And you were saying about the hierarchy, you start adapting to the way everyone else is. So when there is the lower income worker that is from South Asia, you say to him, oh, Mudir, Jib, bring me this one, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's not how you're supposed to be dealing with them.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you're
but you
now
get used-
adapting to it.
But that's mainly because of the citizenship status. Because in this country, everyone's a British citizenship.
Yeah.
So even the white man, even though he might have privileges, he generally the citizenships and the court process are the same. There, if you got an Emirati with an Emirati status, he's higher in many ways than the one
Unfortunately.
without an Akama or
Right.
just a papers.
But I'll be honest,
I think it's a culture thing as well.
listen, but then you'll find good and bad in everyone, right? You find, again, for me, my opinion of Qatari people, being someone who's lived there 14 years,
Yeah.
mixed with them, they're my brothers. I genuinely have love for them.
Yeah.
I was gonna
But
say
most
Qataris
expats
are
won't.
yeah.
Most
Yeah.
expats are
well,
haters.
Yeah.
They're jealous.
Yeah.
And the other thing is they haven't interacted with the locals.
Okay.
And they think that the locals are
But you
stand
can
up.
speak Arabic. You got an
Even if you
advantage.
spoke Arabic. Yeah, it's an advantage. But even if they see them as quite standoff, quite reserved, but that is just the nature of the person. They are more shy by nature, not arrogant by nature. If you actually start speaking and getting to know them, then you'll find they're just like, everyone's a
That's
human.
the thing, yeah. Kuwaitis,
Okay,
Qataris,
interesting.
Saudi, whatever they
Can I
are, you,
just
you
say,
see the
yeah.
good and the bad everywhere.
I've got a friend that's lived there for 2 years and he's never met a single Qatari. Like
Very
interacted
normal.
properly.
Very normal.
And yet he will have this this perception
Notion,
of
yeah.
them as they're stuck up and they're arrogant. And everyone thinks that they're stuck up and they're arrogant.
But they've never they've never gone to a majlis.
So you
They've
would
never
say,
ate with
so
them.
you would say the whole stereotype of Qataris, let's just say Khalijis as a whole, as being stuck up and arrogant. That's
know what the
that's
funny
actually
part is?
you don't
Yeah.
agree with that statement.
At all. And I won't
Interesting.
I can't put all the Khalijis
They're
in one
very
bracket.
reserved,
Okay,
bro.
yes, yes.
They're very reserved because
I have to put them. Everyone is different,
One of
and their culture,
the,
their style is different.
No, they're very
That's
reserved. One
No,
of
but
the
I-
Althani, what's it called?
Althani, yes,
Althani.
yes.
Came to the UK, we were playing football with him. First time I met him, he was very reserved.
Yeah.
As soon as we started playing football, he was a different person.
Yeah, because he wants to win. He's
but
balling.
he was a different person. As a sudden, we became cool.
Balling as in he's
So,
playing
so, so,
football.
so they're very reserved, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But once you interact with them, that's it.
You would know. You would
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You
That's
worked
true.
with us on
Yeah,
a trip.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
had a
We did a
group of
collaboration.
Yeah.
we collaborated with Muazz's company, and Jazallah Khair did an excellent job in organizing it with us. And again, they'd never met Qatari people either. So
Yeah.
you can even speak from your experience, because a lot of people, they don't understand the people.
Yeah,
so
it
they
was-
would
it was a shock for me,
immediately-
I have to say.
They'd immediately have a perception of them. Arrogant, rich, this, that, because everyone's walking. Again, the thawb makes it very fixed, firm. Everyone is...
It's the whole
Yeah, the
hovering kind of like.
I'm not gonna lie,
I'm
bro.
so worried that this might fall.
Yeah.
So it's just the constantly he's walking like
Yeah,
treading
yeah,
on
yeah.
eggshells, and he's just
Can I just say
constantly
one
like,
thing, yeah?
this is not a very masculine move,
I don't know
bro.
what you're doing, bro.
That's the Ghutra.
Yeah.
Constantly
I remember.
fixing it.
Oh,
They're
subhanallah.
constantly fixing it.
Yes, now I
They're
know what you're
always
talking
doing
about.
it. Yeah. And
It's to fix the kashka.
And they've got sometimes they
you
put
gotta
the
get that
line there as
fixed.
well.
Yeah,
iron
yeah,
it
they're always,
perfectly.
yeah.
It's all
I just want to
cool.
staple that in it, just so it stops moving.
So,
But can I just say something?
Go on.
But British people, bro, are more stuck up than them.
bro, listen, I was
Sorry,
gonna
bro.
come back
British
to that
people,
point.
especially the Muslim community,
Oh, bro.
we are so stuck up.
Nah,
bro.
come
It
on,
doesn't
bro.
make sense.
Bro.
One of the
I'll
most
be real with
easygoing
you.
people in this
Go,
world.
go, go.
Also, sorry to go.
Go.
When I first came to the UK, I used to live in Brixton, yeah?
Yeah.
And I come from a community from Egypt, or even Holland, where brothers, whenever they see someone new, it's like they welcome them.
Right.
But here, bro, in the UK, it's like everyone is in a gang. So when they
Oh,
go
yeah, that's
to
different,
when
yeah.
they go to the Khalid, they still want to be in that gang.
Yeah.
They the same everywhere they go. We so stuck up, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
100%. I'll tell you something, bro. And we were speaking about how people treat, at the amount of times that you would be in a restaurant and I would hear someone say, I'm actually British, you know. Why did this thing in the
yeah.
menu? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, calm down.
Yeah, no,
Relax yourself. You would never do that if you was in England.
Yeah.
You're coming here and flexible your British passport.
Yeah.
With all due respect, you're Bengali,
shocking.
Pakistani, Arab, wherever you're from.
yeah.
And they ask, and when they'll ask them, where are you from? You know, the Qataris or whoever, they'll say to the Muslim expat or the whatever expat, where are you from? Oh, I'm British.
No,
Yeah, but
where's
where you
your
from?
asl? Yeah.
I'm British. Where you from? Oh, I'm from East London. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm from where? But and that's sad because then
They're from Limehouse. It's the Limehouse thinking.
unfortunately people ain't proud. I guarantee you, if you went and said, I say to them, bro, Egyptians ain't got the best reputation in Egypt. It's a disadvantage.
Yeah,
Right? But when they
yeah.
say to where you from, like I'm Egyptian. Like, how are you Egyptian? You don't look Egyptian. I'll be like, yeah, I'm Egyptian. My mum and dad are Egyptian. I was born there, whatever. Oh, okay, cool. Be straight with them. Where you from? I'm Pakistani. Where you from? I'm Bengali. They'll start speaking to you in Urdu.
Yeah.
They'll rate you more. But if you come and say to them, oh, I'm British, because, bro, you just got a British
The
passport.
fare
you-
goes up in
Well,
the
I was
taxi.
about
then
to
they,
do
no,
something
no,
like
then they kind of just like, they're not going to rate you. Why? Because you're not proud of who you
Yeah,
are.
of course.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It's okay to be both.
Got
I'm
a
not saying
question
drop
for
it.
you.
Go on.
What do you miss about the UK? The cons for you've said a lot of pros. The cons for Qatar and what you miss about the UK.
I'll be real with
quickly.
you. With the UK, back in the day, especially,
Yeah.
chocolate,
Chocolate.
crisp,
Wow.
fried chicken.
Food. I didn't think you would say food, bro.
Bro, I've got a bit of a
What, you
sweet
just
tooth.
fill up your suitcase on the way back?
I'll fill up my suitcase, bro. I would, because you go there and you
Mashallah.
want to buy a flake. You could buy a 2 real flake that tastes
It
just
doesn't
like
taste the same,
mushed whatever.
Yeah,
Or you
yeah,
buy the
yeah.
proper flake and it costs you £2 to buy it. Whereas over here, but why?
Yeah,
Because it's the imported is way more expensive.
Yeah.
Here's just a multi-pack flex. Yeah.
But
You know what I'm saying? I've got Poundland and get 4 for a pound.
We've got
I love
more
it.
choices
All the way
over
from
there.
Qatar, and he still misses Poundland.
Yeah.
And
Facts.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
That type of stuff for sure. The brothers.
Yeah,
Brothers.
The brothers, because it's the
That
brothers
was the
you grew up
community is
with.
definitely a big thing that you were
Yeah,
saying. That.
alhamdulillah, I would say
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I've managed to create, not create, but we have a community.
Yeah,
But again,
yeah.
you count them on one hand. 14 years, my boys, I can count on one hand. Now, alhamdulillah, we're doing a halaqah, which is nice. So
Alhamdulillah.
we met a brother who came from 7 months. He was in Qatar, right? Never met one person from the UK. He was works in the ministry, in cybersecurity, great job. But he was like, I was on the brink of mental breakdown. Because of the loneliness. You can get very lonely
of course,
in
of
Qatar,
course.
very lonely.
That was one of the points that my cousin that stayed there for 5 years
Big
was
issue.
saying
10 million
it gets boring and lonely. That's what he said, bro.
Right. Of course, it can get boring because if you ain't got anyone that you can actually connect with and resonate with or be real with, because everyone there's flaky, because it's all, you're here for a good time, not a long time. You're going to be here, your contract's going to go, you're going to go. forming long-term
okay.
relationships is not easy.
Yeah.
They're in it
Right.
for themselves, basically.
Everyone
it's very
is in it for this.
selfish. Yeah.
And also the conversations
But
are
how do you
so
guys
shallow.
attract them? How do you guys attract newcomers that actually go to Qatar right now and are actually facing some challenges? How do you guys meet them? Is there anywhere that you guys actually post these halaqas in?
I don't, but I think moving forward,
Yeah.
we need to be very active. Again, the halaqa we did, alhamdulillah, we did it because you need to have something consistent to remind yourself,
Yeah.
for reminders and to be with brothers, even if you're just going to eat and spend good time with each other. Well, you don't talk about work. I never talk about work with my friends. My friends maybe don't know what I do, right? Because it's not about that. It's about brotherhood. But when you're meeting regular people, it's, oh, what do you do? Oh, do you know this? Oh, you know that compound? You know, how much you rent this for? How much is... And then it starts
dead
becoming very much...
conversations.
or even though I came and asked you how much this podcast could be...
How much
That's
is
the
your
Egyptian
compound?
in you, though. That's the Egyptian in you. That's different.
That's the
The
hustler.
Egyptian, bro.
That's just
First thing,
trying to
how much do
understand.
you pay? How much do you rent it for? Let me see if I can do
But that's
something
too much,
similar.
though. That's too much
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
to do
Can
that,
I-
to get involved in too much in people's lives, and then end up just
I
becoming quite
think-
show off. It become of a bit of a,
yeah,
pissing
But
contest.
I think we've
type
got
of
that
thing.
brotherhood, so it's like easy. It's more.
It's more
yeah,
brothers, and
it's
this
more
is what
brothers,
we
yeah.
need more. And I would love to see more brothers. Again, that brother that came,
Yeah.
from 27 years old, from I think Hounslow or something, he's come and working, and he just happened to know someone who knew someone who went to the halaqah. We brought him in, and he was literally like, he was just ecstatic to see
Yeah.
people who he can just talk to. And for the first couple of weeks, he just was shy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
was just absorbing it. But you understand that we all need that.
Yeah, no, without
We
a doubt.
can't just
You
be
need
there
that
to
social
live. And
interaction, yeah.
even if you have a family over there, it can't just be you and your wife and your kids and just that small. So everyone has to have that social life. And this is where the community is lacking, very much so. I would say.
Can I just say before we wrap up, because obviously we've got iftar to catch, but
Yeah.
you know,
Literally.
14
Part
years.
two, inshallah.
Definitely. 14 years you've been there. We'll just touch on this, and then inshallah in a part two we could expand a lot more. But 14 years you've been there, and you've gone through a number of different stages and a number of different jobs, and you know, challenges, and you felt like, you know, sometimes you didn't even have that job security. How, I don't know how you can wrap this up in a few minutes, but you managed to open up a company there.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Oh yeah, he's an expat as well.
How do you do
Yeah.
that?
You know, actually, it's not as difficult to register a company. Is not as difficult as you may think. There's a couple of ways of doing it. You know, you can apply with the Qatar Financial Center, which if you're a consultancy or if you're a lot of the law firms and banks there apply to them. You can be on the free zone. You can apply. Nowadays, it's actually made much easier for you. Personally, I actually have a Qatari partner. For me, I prefer to be a local registered company as opposed to being an international company. But let me tell you
With
something.
a Qatari partner, you have to give a percentage of your
It all
profit.
depends. Everything is semantics. But I think really what's more important is it's all good and well to have a company, right? But it's how do you actually create an idea that gets something off the ground, that makes sense, that is either a product or a service that can take off. Registering is not difficult.
Yeah.
What I meant by the question was you've managed to basically take off, and you've got
Alhamdulillah.
partnerships, and
Yeah,
talk to
yeah,
us. Tell us a bit about your company.
That journey, basically. Yeah.
Right. So essentially, I run an education and training consultancy. The idea was born actually in a period of time where I wasn't working. There was no job security. It was post-COVID. I went through many years in very senior positions in business development, in all these international companies. I understood the corporate world, hated every moment of it. All due respect to all my bosses, all the companies I worked for, I never enjoyed it because I never found myself caring enough or passionate enough. I just knew I was good at talking to people or making a deal or whatever. During a period of time, I went back to doing something I was doing many years ago, which is to tutor students. And I did it with the mentality of, I want to understand what the mentality is like, because I left you guys 10 years ago. And I realized there were so many gaps that was lacking. There was students still needed direction. They still wanted to explore. They still wanted to travel abroad. They wanted to study abroad. I didn't find any entity that was bringing all of these things together in one service. So this is where Busla was created, which means compass, which is the compass to direct in every level of the journey of a student, whether that be from 11, 12 years old, taking you to travel, taking you to Kilimanjaro, or taking you to go and study in the UK, to Canada, to wherever. Now we're going into teacher training, teacher recruitment. education consultancy, advising schools. So kind of working on the full picture.
Holistic, basically,
Exactly. It's a
approach.
holistic education consultancy. And I'll be honest with you, we have just started.
Mashallah.
Really. And that's where we can end with that.
Mashallah.
We've just
Mashallah.
started.
No, amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah.
I need to connect you
We-
to a lot of brothers that are actually coming and teaching.
with his
Qatar,
connections.
bro.
mashallah.
Come on, bro, I have to,
Somali
bro.
state.
Inshallah,
You got the
inshallah.
brother
But
in.
you
I have
guys
to
stick to yourselves. We're
Yes,
much
bro.
expanding now, yeah? Okay.
That's
okay.
what I'm done.
Anyway, guys.
It's free service, bro.
No, look, there has to be a part 2 coming soon,
Oh,
inshallah.
100%, inshallah.
And, just for the sake of iftar, we're going to have to sign out quickly.
But it's
Okay,
been
so it's been a
very-
pleasure. Jazakallah khair to
Yeah.
Yousef, representing Busla, mashallah.
Definitely
big,
brought the
big
energy
things.
in. Yeah.
Big things from Busla
Yeah,
coming soon,
Allahumma
inshallah.
Allahumma
And on behalf of Sunnah Treks as well, it
Big
was
up.
it was
Should
it
we do
was
a
a,
comment word?
it was a great collaboration trip, and there's much more to come,
Loads more to come.
inshallah.
Inshallah.
We're gonna have to sign out. And
Comment word quickly so we get the algorithm going and that.
comment
Hijrah.
comment Busla, not Hijrah.
Busla.
Comment Busla, Busla. Okay.
Busla.
Signing out, Muaz,
Safe.
Yahya.
and our guest.
Yousef.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.